and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Can I ask you to grab a seat or move out of the way if somebody who maybe get a seat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to officially welcome you here today to the launch of Stone Racing's 2024 season and the official unveiling of the Bendix Racing and Tyre Power Racing Chevrolet Camaros. My name is Brett Murray, or Crusher if you like, and I'm honoured to be your MC today, which will be many and varied parts of it, as you'll see. At this point, I'd also like to welcome our viewers through speakerfate.com's international streaming and make special mention of the barbecue watch parties which have been set up by Bendix and Tyre Power around the country, especially the big crew at Bendix and Ballarat. All those guys, like you, are anxiously waiting to see what's under the cars in front of us. This year's a special one for MSR and the MSR family. And family is a word you're going to hear a lot today. Sports fans have had a fascination with numbers and identify many of their favourite athletes through digits they carried on their backs or the side of their machines at different periods of their careers. Alan Jones's 1980 Formula 1 27 Williams, or the legendary 05 plate that Peter Brock carried to 8 of his 9 Bathurst wins, are just two of the numbers that are embedded in motorsport fans' brains around the country. This season will be a homecoming of sorts for the number 4, which was made famous by the original Stone Brothers racing operation operated by Matt's dad Jimmy, who's with us today, and his brother Ross. Just let me give you a bit of a history lesson about the number 4. In the modern supercars era, the number 4 was originally used by 1987 World 500cc champion Wayne Gardner on his Coke Commodores, which many of you will remember from 94 through to 96. The number 4 was the foundation number for SBR's debut in 1998, and later that year the number 4 Pertec Falcon AU was driven to victory at the Bathurst 1000 by Jason Bright and Steve Richards. Ironically, it's the only time the number 4 has ever won that race. Marcus Ambrose drove the number 4 Pertec Ford to pole position at his first Bathurst 1000 debut in 2001, and 2 years later clinched SBR its first Supercars title. The number was then parked in 2004 and 5, with Ambrose carrying the traditional number 1 allotted to the defending series champion, and SBR won their 3rd consecutive championship with Russell Lingle in 2005, although I think the team's PR had a lot more to do with that than the drivers. Look it up. With Ambrose heading to NASCAR, James Courtney joined SBR in 2006 and took over the number 4 mantle. Erebus Motorsport inherited the number 4 with the takeover of SBR, but switched to 99 in 2017. Most recently, the number 4 was used by the SCT entry campaign by Brad Jones Racing for Jack Smith. Coincidentally, the engineer on Smith's car, Paul Forgy, was the engineer on Ambrose's championship-winning car in 2003 and 4, and he will be working with Cam Hill out of this workshop this season, some 20 years later. So that's it for the 4. While there's plenty of sentimental value around the 4, there's also plenty around the number 10, which will be on Nick Percat's Bendix Racing entry this season. SBR actually campaigned a customer entry for Mark Larkham in 98, which carried the number 10. The number 10 had several homes before and after that, but is probably most famous for being the number Peter Brock carried in his last of 9 Bathurst 1000 victories in 1987. There are plenty of people in this room who have fond memories of that 2003 Supercars Championship, myself included. Well, many of us had the privilege of being part of the Stone family, and we still include ourselves as part of the Stone family, many of us, during our careers. One bloke here didn't have any choice. Not that he would have wanted it any other way. He's gone from a scruffy-haired kid cleaning the floors to having his name on the door and on the invoices. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me introduce Matt Stone. Mate, it would be true to say you've come a long way since you were pushing that broom around, although you're still not scared to grab a hold of it when you need to. Did you envisage, all those years ago that one day you would have here and be introducing some quality sponsors like this to a new season of racing?
Look, I think one thing I always knew when I was young is that I wanted to go racing, and whether it be pushing the broom or paying those invoices you talk about, I always knew I was going to be doing something, and one thing led to another. You just keep working harder and going racing and looking for more and more to do, and here we are today.
I wasn't talking about paying the invoices, I was talking about sending them out. You don't pay them. Talk about the number 4. Those championship years, we had some great times. I think there's a few here that might have taught you how to drink beer, I think, during that period, which you've become pretty good at. What's it mean? We look around here, we see the 4 and a few of the new things, but there's particularly a Pertec bonnet from one of those early cars at the back with the number 4 on it. When you see that and you're having that number 4 back in your hands, what does it mean to you and the family?
Oh, look, it was an idea that I've had for years, and sort of been whittling away at, and I was finally able to get my hands back on the number. I would have loved the 9 as well, because a lot of my time through Stone Brothers after I finished school, I was always on car 9 and involved in that. But 4 was really that SBR number, and whether it be the Bathurst winning bonnet up on the wall there, it's just so good to have that back, and sort of be, now it's ours. We won't be letting go of it anytime soon. So it's just fantastic, and to come up through that era of SBR was, that was when I was just graduating high school, getting into the real world, working in motorsport, and to come through such a dominant era with such strong partners and strong team behind it. It's always been a goal to get to that again, and that's what we're trying to build here.
Yeah, this sport, again, many people in the room have experienced this, can give you the highest of highs. You think the board can't get any better, and a week later it can give you a kick fair in the ghoulies, and you're on the ground. It has massive highs and massive lows. But I've got to say, from the test the other day and what I've seen here today and the people here and the brands, it's got a really good vibe about it, this place.
Yeah, look, we're really excited about this year. Second year of Gen 3, and Gen 3's definitely been a big stepping stone for us. It sort of gave us the opportunity as a smaller team to step up and compete at the top level. And obviously got that elusive race win last year. That sort of highs that you talk about, they just give us the taste for why we go racing, and having now ticked that box, all we want to do is do it again. So we're really excited to have Cam coming in his second year with the team, gelling really well, and obviously Nick is coming in. When you've got someone new coming in, you don't know how long it's going to take to really get that vibe going, but with the pre-season testing we've had and Nick being here at the workshop, it already feels like home. So we're really excited, and we had a promising test, and we're really excited to see what we can do in only 2 weeks now.
Now, 2 great brands, 2 great Australian brands. Bendix going to be on the team car all year. Tyre Power announcing that they'll be on the car for the first 2 rounds at Bathurst, and then the AGP. The ability to have those cars there and Tyre Power and that new NASCAR style sponsorship deal you're putting together, you've got a couple of gaps to fill for the rest of the year, I know that, but you found that's been productive and you're positive about filling those extra gaps.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's great to welcome Bendix on for the whole year, and we're really excited, and especially with the lovely colour scheme and getting some more blues back in the building, we like that. But yeah, so it's fantastic to welcome Bendix, and we love we've been able to give Tyre Power the opportunity to get out there at a naming rights level, showcase it for the first 2 rounds, and and a little more later in the season, and really open the door to that naming rights without having to commit to a full season. So with Tyre Power and obviously the other partners that are on board for that program, we're really excited to get on with that, and we're looking forward to announcing the others later in the season when in due course.
Mate, I'm sure you do a hell of a job. Best of luck for the season. We'll see you for a couple of shots a bit later. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Matt Stone. Before we introduce the stars of the show, I'd like to acknowledge everyone who's travelled extensively to be at today's launch. In particular, I'd like to mention the WA crew who have assured me that they've only arrived on the Gold Coast for today's unveiling, and that their presence here today on the Gold Coast has nothing to do with the G-string ban protest which is happening on Surfers Paradise Beach later this afternoon. James Gatcher from MGM Bob, Stephen Mee Hoffman from Geotech, Bird Officer Sean Sky Matthews. We say thank you for making the effort to come over today, and the team looks forward to building a long and successful relationship with you. The team's, put your hands together for those guys, it's a massive effort. The team's actually building a fair following in the West, and we expect to have the beers on ice when we get over there at Wanneroo in May. Now, let's go to the public faces of MSR for 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, the driver of the number 10 Bendix Camaro, Nick Percat, and the pilot of the number 4 Tower Power rocket, Cam Hill. We were going to have a bit of music, but my karaoke days are over. Jesus, don't you two blokes look flash, eh? No, sweating, smelly, lovely blue. How long will it stay like that? Not long. OCD, yes, they're all like that. They're all perfectionists, these blokes. Nick, today's particularly been about number 4. You had number 10 on your door, ironically, when you made your debut with Cam Thompson all those years ago. What's a number mean to a driver and a team?
Well, I guess firstly, thanks everyone for coming out. It's amazing to... the feel of the room is pretty special, so I'm massively excited for the year. But a number, sometimes it doesn't mean a lot, but I think for me, when I actually was told that, do you remember you drove car 10 in your first ever supercar race? The feeling you have as a rookie in that moment is seriously special to see your name on a supercar. And under the number 10, I think it's quite fitting that we've kind of gone full circle and we're back with my name and number 10. So looking forward to representing it and looking forward to representing everyone in the room. But yeah, the numbers, I think this one's pretty special.
Funny enough, it's only a year later you went to Bathurst and won that with Garth Tander and become one of the youngest ever winners of that race. You've been a part of this team for a few weeks now, and I know you had the test on Monday. Little birdie tells me that you've settled in pretty good, and you actually went all right the other day.
I might have just had a little summer break and come back able to drive. I'm not sure. We'll see. In all honesty, the feeling I've got from the team the first moment, I hadn't actually really met Matt until around Taylor Bent last year, and it felt right straight away. And then I came up on a little visit with Gareth, and who's helped me a lot. I walked in unsure where I was at in my career and what I wanted to do, and I think I was here for 10 minutes, and I was like, don't want to give it away too much, but this is where I want to be next year, and these are the guys I want to drive for. And it's a real credit to the culture, and you see Matt and Jimmy, they're hands-on here, peeling stickers off trucks, fixing trucks. I caught Jimmy trying to figure out where to hang an air conditioning unit the other day, and I thought, what are you doing? You need to just, slow it down a bit. But it's seriously cool to see that, they set the level of work ethic in this team, and all the young guys in the team, they follow suit, and it's been really good to see that no one drags their heels, everyone gets in there, works hard. They want to improve their pit stops, so if you go outside, you see a pit stop car in the middle of being finished off, and it makes you pretty proud to drive for a team that's so young but so hungry.
Good luck slowing Jimmy down too. They don't call him a squirrel for nothing. What are your expectations for this year? I know it's an easy question to ask, and it's a bit of a cliche really on the expectations, but give me those early signs. And I mean, you're regarded as a racer, right? There's some aren't, some are. You are a racer, and you're part of a racing team full of hardcore mechanics who just want to get the job done.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, I think once I had my confidence completely back is behind the wheel, which I think during the test day, probably about lunchtime, it started to go back to the way I love driving the car. I got on really well with engineer Jack instantly. You know, it felt like the way we were speaking to each other, we'd been working together for years, so that in itself was absolutely massive, and when it gave me changes on the car, it responded in the way that I expected, and I could improve the way I drove the car and stuff like that. So, but I still think it's, you know, crawl, walk, run, and I still think, you know, there's a lot of things we can do to keep improving, but at the gate, at the test day, I couldn't have been happier with, you know, just the feeling of the car it gave me, the way it responded. It was definitely fast, and I guess, yeah, it was just an enjoyable day in a race car, which is what I was really hoping would happen, and yeah, I can't wait to get to round one, but I think, you know, we've just got to keep a lid on it. You know, if we're in the 10 early in the year, it's not then suddenly we want to win races. It's, you know, get the processes right, get all the pit stops right, get what I'm doing right, all the crew, and I think, you know, back end of the year into next year is when you really start having a massive crack.
Fantastic, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the driver of the number 10 Venice Racing car, Nick Perker. So Cam, you're like the young old bloke here now. You've got a year ahead of him. You've got a year full-time under your belt, being a part of this organisation. How important is it to just get that year done, know where you're going, where the little things are at every track you go to, how you respond?
Well, I'll tell you, I was definitely a lot more nervous doing this thing last year. So the more you do something, the better you get. And I was definitely deer in the headlights a little bit at the start of last year. New car, new level of competition, and yeah, you have to sort of very quickly get your head around the level you need to be performing at. But sort of by the end of the year, you know, I really bedded in quite well with the team, and like Nick said, that, you know, they're just such a hard-working group of guys, very young team as well, and you know, I think when we can get out there and knock off the big teams, you know, we really do need to be proud of what we can achieve.
What I love about this kid is he knows how to win. He won the Australian Formula Ford Championship, he won the Carrera Cup Championship, he won the Bathurst 6 Hour from 63rd place on the grid starting. Good luck with that. He knows how to win. You've been here for a year. Obviously the next step, you've had those results, you've done that, you've had some solid results. That podium is where you've got your head set.
Yeah, the mentality for me is definitely shift. There was always that sort of try to every single lap, you know, if there was a sort of 50-50 move, maybe err on the side of caution last year, just wanting to build up, look after the car, you know, it's something that's important to us. You know, we can't just go out there and tear up the gear every weekend, so you've got to pick your moments. But yeah, it was really good to get so much running last year and start to prove to myself that, yep, when we get this right, you know, we're competitive. And so for me, now it's about putting all of last year's experience to good use and sort of maybe come out swinging a bit harder rather than, you know, playing myself in as the year goes on. I've got a year under my belt now, so there's less excuses I can hide behind.
Hear that, Matt? You've had another sponsor. He's going to tear some shit up. Now you have the responsibility of carrying the number 4. I mean, you're old enough and young enough to understand the significance of that number in this organisation, and you get to roll it out in a few weeks' time with Ty Perry on the side of it.
Yeah, it's a huge honour to be carrying number 4. There's obviously so much history for the family, the Stones family, with Ambrose back in the day, winning championships. It's a number that I raced with for a period in go-kart, so I have a connection to it as well, and yeah, I definitely feel quite proud to be running 4 on the side of the car this year, so hopefully we can do it justice and yeah, get it up to the pointy end.
Now this bloke, he's been around a bit. He's old. But he's got a bit of a reputation of helping young blokes out. How important is it to have a guy of his experience beside you in those engineering meetings after each session and going through the data and working out, you know, and some of the guys you worked with in the past, how long does it take to gel and how important is it?
Yeah, it's. I think we felt Nick's presence immediately. You know, you can see he's got so much experience driving these cars. He kind of knows what the car needs to feel like to be quick. And so for me, when I'm sort of at the start of my career, it's always good if you've got someone on the other side of the garage that has that experience behind them. So, you know, if there's ever something that, you know, maybe I'm not quite sure about, you know, I can always sort of pick Nick's brain, which is a really good thing. He had the benefit of being paired up with some really experienced and successful drivers early in his career, and so yeah, it's definitely a great asset for me to have him to sort of bounce off in my second year now.
Now you're from Canberra, which is not a place known for its G-strings. A few arses, but not G-strings. Any truth to the rumour that you're heading down to Surfers Paradise Beach this afternoon for the protest?
I'm unaware of any protests. So, yeah, flying the flag for Canberra. I think I was the first Canberran since Dale breed to be in the main game, and hopefully I can give someone, all the guys back home, someone to cheer for. But certainly not aware of any protests or anything of that matter.
That's not what he said earlier. Oh, yeah, the Uber's waiting out the front. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Cam Hill and Nick Percat, their drivers for this season. So, if you thought those blokes were important, just hang on a minute. It's no secret that motorsport at the highest level is an expensive business, and it couldn't be possible without quality sponsors. And by quality, I mean those who not only pay the bills on time, but genuinely get excited about their involvement. And after discussion with guys from Bendix Tyre Power today, they've certainly got that, and their crews watching in and around the country and internationally today. This year, MSR starts with the season with two of the biggest names in the Australian automotive industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the General Manager of FMP Group Australia, the owner of the Bendix brand, George Kyriakopoulos. George. I practiced your name for about 3 hours. I'll have no worries getting the kebab ladder today, though. I'll be fine. Mate, thanks for coming up from Victoria today. I'm sure coming to Queensland wasn't a big task for you.
Yeah, it's colder here than Melbourne today, so let's not go down there. But can I take an opportunity just to say hello to the team in Ballarat, and also so welcome up to the team in Thailand today who are watching the live stream.
Fantastic. Now, Bendix is a great brand. They've been manufacturing in Australia since 1955, which ironically is 1 year before Jimmy Stone watched Sterling Moss win the New Zealand Grand Prix in 1956. And you think that's a lie? Go and ask him. What does it mean for you guys to be involved with an organisation like this?
Look, at Bendix we're just passionate about cars. And everyone has some sort of involvement in cars, but we've had an involvement in motorsport for a while with Repco and Supercheap. We ran the Super Ute for a couple of years with our Ultimate Forward Drive brand as well. So, you know, the reality is we're not sponsors, we're participants. And, you know, that's what we love about it.
Now, you've had a long association with the sport of some of those you've mentioned, but there's been all different levels of categories across the sport for many, many years. This would be your biggest commitment to the sport. It's great to see you growing, and I'm sure you're going to make the most of it.
Absolutely. So what a great opportunity to be on this special car, and of course with Nick as well. You know, we couldn't pass up on such a great opportunity. So we just love it.
So you sort of maybe half answered the next question, which is, you know, I'm sure you get inundated from all levels of the sport about sponsorship. And we've just mentioned that this is your biggest commitment probably ever in the sport. Why this organisation?
Yeah, and why this organisation? And you know what, we're a corporate business, but we run it like a family business. And MSR is a family business, and we can already tell with Nick as well that he is a family guy. So, you know, our customers are like that as well. They have that same sort of sentiment. So
I guess the other natural fit here is that this is really probably above almost any other team in the championship. It's full of mechanics. You've got a guy who owns the show, runs the show, his father, the history of the team. I mean, you see the guys where they go about their business here. Your customers are mechanics, and you're going to take them on the journey with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, we've got our customers, and some of these people are here today, Supercheap, Repco, Burson, but they sell our product to mechanics. And yes, it's for those people that we're really actually sponsoring this car, because it is an iconic brand in Australia, and we're very well supported by the mechanics around the country. So, you know, thank you to all of you that support Bendix, and we look forward to seeing a lot more of you in 2024.
George, thanks very much. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to get you some shots. We're going to get you to the back of the car with me. Ladies and gentlemen. Next, I'd like to welcome Jeff Newick to stage, who has travelled a massive 25 kilometres down the road from Brisbane to be with us today. Jeff is excited as everyone else to see what's underneath these covers, but I guess you're a co-driver because Type House Motorsport manager Rob Smith's been laid up and he's watching us on the live stream from home today. Jeff, as mentioned earlier, family is a word not taken too lightly around here, and in many respects, I guess that relates to the Tyre Power Group, which is the biggest, tyre retailer group in Australasia. Do you see that correlation straight away?
Yeah, we certainly do. With over 300 members from Australia and New Zealand, every Tyre Power member is part of the family. And to be involved in that Stone as well, it's just a natural fit for us. Everyone's part of the group. We all talk to each other, we all enjoy our own company, and most of our dealers are fantastic.
Now, little birdie tells me, well, not little birdie, it was me, because I had a beer with you at the Gold Coast. You had a group of your guys at the Gold Coast, you enjoyed yourselves at the Gold Coast 500 this year. And, your guys are raced, they love the sport. In a couple of weeks' time, and you're going to have your own car with the famous number 4 on it at Mount Panorama, one of the most famous racetracks in the world. How do you personally feel about that, and your team feel about that?
I myself am very excited. I followed Bathurst since I was a young fella, and to have a car with our own branding to run around a famous track like Mount Panorama, it's just very exciting, and I know all our members are very excited as well. They like to sit back and see the name that's on their shop out on national TV. They love it.
And I guess the extension of that, the number 4, goes back to Bathurst with MSR, not SBR. And you guys will be doing, I'm sure, a bit of stuff around that, and then you head to the Grand Prix after. But I think you probably understand, there's probably a lot of people don't, that how important that number is and how cool the fans are going to relate to that number being back as part of the Stone operation.
Yeah, well, a lot of fans will recognise that. I certainly do from the years gone by. And to see that number with a famous name such as Stone, it's just next to nothing. You just can't explain the excitement that everyone's got with it. And to have a young fellow like Cam behind the wheel, I think he's definitely going places.
Yeah, we totally agree with you. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Jeff and the Tyre Power crew. Jeff's keen to give you a deal on some tyres at your local Tyre Power. Did you see him at the end of the show? He told me 60% off. I'm not sure if that's right, Michael. One too many zeros. Now I'd like to ask Matt and Jimmy Stone, could you join us for the next part of this proceedings? And I'd ask any media to position themselves at the front for the official unveiling. Jimmy, you're standing next to Matty there. Boys, I'll ask you to go to the front of the cars. Don't unveil just yet. All right, everyone set? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the MSR entries for the 2024 Supercars season. Put your hands together. Okay, boys, I'd like just get you to move down to door level on both sides of the car. Jimmy and Matt, could you just move forward, please, into the centre? Just get out of the way, we'll get some shots there. Okay, Jeff and George, could I ask you to step back from the cars, please? Thank you. And the four boys in the middle, just get a bit closer together there, a bit closer towards the front. Okay, Cam, can I get you to come back to me, please? Come back this way. Matt and Jimmy and Nick, can you go next to that car? Come in, Nick. Move across to the Bendix car, please. Okay, Nick, can you step back? And Jimmy and Matt roll to the left. Okay, Jimmy and Matt, I'll ask you to step to the side. Nick, could you come back in, please? Stand in front with Cam, please. Okay, Cam, come back. Nick, to your car, just by yourself. It's not my first rodeo. Okay, Nick, you step back. Cam, down in the front, please. Just do one last tight shot. Cam just kneeling down at the front with Nick. It's going to be nice and tight. Yeah, on the front. Yep. Probably in the middle. Come across the middle, make it tighter. Yep, that's it.
Looking out there.
Boys, just look up. Yep. And I'll just get you to come back to your side doors. Very close, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, so that brings to a close our 2024 launch for Stone Racing. I'd like to thank everyone that's attended today. We also like to thank everybody at MSR that's put a hell of a lot of work in today at all levels, from all the boys and members of the team, commercial side, the media side. They've done a terrific job, so thank you, team. Put your hands together for those guys. To everybody that's watched through the speedcafe.com live stream, and including all the Bendix and Tyre Power employees around Australia and around the world, as we obviously know now. And remember, speedcafe.com is the place where you get all your real motorsport news, first, fast and free. Here's to a fast, successful and safe 2024 Supercars season for these guys. Put your hands together. Thanks very much for trying to say. Anyone who'd like to come up and get their own photos now with the guys will be here for a while. Just, there's plenty of time, so come and get your shot. Try and not crowd the cars so everyone can get a shot, but you're more than welcome to come up, get your own shots and have a chat to the boys and the team. Thank you, guys.
No, it's pretty stunning. Unless you hold the laptop. Just gonna be shit dangling off of it.
Hey, Dan.
Really slow in this in there.
Do you want to go?
Did someone click? Let's do a photo like this one, and then we'll get a photo to that branding as well. You want to cut it?